Happy Pride Month. It is the gay month, officially as of today, June 1st. And for the last week or so, in the lead up to the beginning of Pride Month, conservatives on social media have had a lot to say about it. Some companies are still going to be doing their, rainbow capitalism, make their logo rainbowed during June thing that honestly was at an all-time low last year, if I remember right. Like, it was a big deal that a lot of companies had just stopped doing Pride Month celebrations in their social media, and it was lauded by a lot of conservatives as an example of woke being dead, right? But now it's a whole year later. Trump has become a lot more controversial than he already was. Opinion on him has gotten a lot more negative. He's brought the opinion of conservative politics and the anti-woke culture war along with him down to rock bottom, and Pride Month is back. And conservatives are seemingly trying very hard to make it such that Pride Month just doesn't happen this year. They're trying their best to keep it down, to try and kill it off. Every conservative is trying to make their little anti-Pride Month virtue signal. Once again, we've got a new right-wing VTuber pick-me girl. I do not know what this lady's deal is, but she's called Banana Juju, the monkey VTuber. And here she is with a monkey spray painting a big X on the pride flag for Pride Month while doing like the smug little smile at the camera. And the funny thing is, when you read the comments, it's a genuine wild ride when you read through the comments. You can't stop attacking people for clout, can you? She replies, no, it is more the concept, not the people. For someone who hates gay people, you sure love making content with them. She replies, I am bi myself. Why would I hate myself, XD? Can I ask respectfully what the issue is? The concept. So many gay folks, friends of mine included, are just over the whole pride bullshit. She replies, I know, the concept is the thing that is fucked up. Why is your paint spray gay? Everything seems to be gay now. So these are just some examples of like the interactions that she's having in the comments. So supposedly she's bisexual, but takes issue with the concept of Pride Month. And according to all the straight people in the comments, there are tons of gay people who are done with Pride Month. Apparently, the gay population has woke fatigue and no longer wants to celebrate Pride Month because the concept of it just seems too woke for them. I have a crazy theory, and that theory is that that's complete bullshit. But we'll have to wait and see, right? Will there be pride parades and marches this year? I have a feeling we might see some of the biggest of all time this year, just judging off of the current state of things politically. But you can see there's definitely an agenda by conservatives. It starts every year on Pride Month. I remember back in 2019, 4chan tried to psyop gay people on social media with Operation Pridefall. Now they're actually trying to do Operation Pridefall, but for real, It's not like a 4chan psyop anymore. It's a real operation they're trying to do now. So I thought I'd go ahead and search up Pride Month on Twitter, and we'd scroll through the top posts and see what we see. First thing we've got, actually, is the Philadelphia Eagles making their logo Pride. They got 21k likes, and whoo, is that a lot of comments. That is a lot of comments. I am somewhat worried to see what they look like. So let's just not even click that. And, we're not gonna look at that demon core, okay? We've got a Halo tweet with some Pride Halo armor. So far we've got just, basic celebrating Pride posts, right? But if we scroll for a minute, no doubt we're gonna find some posts here. Oh, here we go. How about Happy American Pride Month instead? Drop the rainbow. They already celebrate American Pride. It's called the 4th of July. Gay pride flag, trans pride flag, pedophile pride flag. I'm glad people are going hard in the comments of this one. That's pretty top tier. That was a good reply. I like that one. More pro Pride Month posts. And then We got this guy. Gunther Eagleman. Is this guy fucking real? This guy can't be real. Gunther Eagleman? There's no shot that this guy isn't like a Russian bot. I will not be acknowledging Pride Month, just mocking it. Hilariously, he just acknowledged Pride Month. This has got to be like a fucking, like, meme account, right? Yeah, it's got to be. 1.7 million followers. Yeah, this has got to be an ironic account, right? Right? There's no shot. This guy's got to be an ironic troll account. He just acknowledged Pride Month. Is he really that dumb? That's got to be a joke tweet. I refuse. I refuse to believe that's real. That's a joke tweet. That's totally a joke tweet. That's not real. That's not real. Now, here's the funny thing. You'll notice that despite it being Pride Month and there being a lot of discussion about it on social media, it is actually not a trending topic on Twitter at all. Like, there is no trending topic tab for Pride Month. And my guess is that's because Elon and Twitter want to basically hide that it's happening. They don't want any of the conversation about it to be in anyone's feed. Unless it's saying Pride Month is over, I suppose. If it's like a right-wing anti-Pride Month post, I'm sure that'll get pushed. But outside of that, it doesn't even have its own trend tab for you to click on. An example of how Twitter is handling this is this post. Can I have a single Pride Month where my identity is not erased and invalidated because we've been having this discourse for the last 10 years and I'm tired? Pride Month debate renews. Do asexuals belong in the queer community? So, like, the only thing related to Pride Month on this person's feed is a Twitter circle, or a Twitter, like, room, or whatever it's called, where people are voice arguing with each other over whether or not asexuals belong in the queer community. If you're not straight and cis, you belong in the queer community. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of there being a community in the first place. Anyway. We've got Blair White. Blair White. What's Blair White got to say about Pride? Crazy. Hold on, let me. Crazy how Pride Month became so cringe and degenerate that its existence is now a net negative for PR of the community it's for. So I had to go full Mean Girl's voice to really get across the tone that Blair White wanted to get across to you. I love that, like, Blair White tweets and speaks as though she doesn't have a more than a decade-long history of saying, the gays have gone too far this time. And then she just says it again every time as if this is, the gays have gone too far this time, and this is it. Like, no. Pride has been getting a shitload of pushback since its inception, and you know that. You know that. Pride hasn't just suddenly become unpopular. Alright, there's always been homophobes who get mad about it and try to push back against it and deny it exists, and you're just a pick-me loser who literally had to flee Texas back to California because of the laws that you supported getting passed, but you couldn't handle the smoke of actually living under those laws that you support for other trans people to have to live under. That's the kind of person you are, Blair. Let's see, what else do we have? What else do we have? More discourse. More discourse on Pride. Real. This meme is real as fuck. I'm ignoring you. I said I'm ignoring you. Don't ignore me. I'm ignoring you. This is basically what's happening right now. Pretty much. This is more or less what's happening right now. Like, the Chuds are convinced that they're going to be able to make Pride Month not happen. Since when have the Chuds been necessary for Pride Month? That's my big question. Since when did the gay community need right-wingers to be like, yeah, let's celebrate Pride? The whole point of Pride is that it's something gay people celebrate together. You know, like I don't see how they think they can have any impact on whether or not it's going to be celebrated. Anyway, I just thought it was really funny. If you scroll through Twitter and you see anything to do with Pride Month, then it's going to be some, like, shitposting conservatives talking about how Pride Month is canceled. Here's another one right here from a Chud account. Maverick Alexander says, well, this is a satire account, actually, so we'll get ourselves a little funny meme one as our little palate cleanser.
My fellow Americans, it is with great pleasure that I am announcing that Pride Month is canceled. Pride is a sin, and we will no longer participate in deliberate moral inversions. Instead, June will be known as Confidence Month, or maybe just June. Who knows? In either case, it'll be a time for us to celebrate legitimate achievements worthy of reflection. I hate to break it to some people, but putting a wiener in a butt shouldn't be on anyone's highlight reel. Very unhygienic.
This is unironically how a lot of conservatives think. They like, this is how a lot of them is. This AI? Of course it's AI. Yeah. I'm gonna fucking die, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, it's AI. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is fucking AI. Anyway. God fucking damn it. What was I saying? Yeah, okay. This is a very common belief among conservatives. They seem to believe that the idea of Pride Month is supposed to be about celebrating being gay. Now, I can't speak for gay people necessarily, but I'll do my best to communicate the sentiment that I have heard so frequently from gay people in a way that might be a little bit more palatable to a normie, just in case someone a little bit more politically not tapped in, or maybe a little more center or a bit right-leaning is listening. Pride Month is not about celebrating being gay, or celebrating gay sex acts, or any of those things. Being gay is as important to a gay person inherently as being straight is to a straight person. That is to say, the idea of being gay, the idea of being straight, doesn't really cross one's mind until an external factor makes them, right? Like, if you're a straight guy, your experience is you see a hot lady and you go, awooga. But at no point is there I'm a straight guy, so I like that lady. That thought doesn't pass your mind. You don't think, wow, very straight of me to be attracted to that woman. That thought doesn't pass your mind. The idea of straight and gay is the last thing you're thinking of when you, as a straight guy, see a hot lady, right? And so it's external forces like political debate and your sexuality being made an issue externally that makes you think about those things. And gay people, for a very, very, very long time, have not been allowed to just exist, to not think about being gay, for their gayness to really just be a thing in the background, while what they're really thinking about is who they're into, you know? And let's not pretend who you're into doesn't matter, right? Like, if you're a straight person, there's a whole male loneliness epidemic happening right now that is centered around the idea that young men are struggling immensely to find women to be in relationships with, right? Because being in a relationship, not just because of sex, but because of having connection and love, is important. And the desire to have another, like a second half, is a big deal, a big part of someone's psyche. And when you have a second half, that person becomes like one of the most important things in your life, right? So, if you're gay and you live in a world where there are external forces at all times attacking the idea of who you're attracted to and your right to be attracted to that group and your right to be with someone else who's also gay from the same gender, or if you're trans, etc., right? That being an issue that is constantly brought up externally makes you have to be aware of it, makes you have to be defensive of it, even. Maybe even have to hide it to avoid other people from finding out and to avoid it blowing up in your face, right? And then on the other end of things, you have the fact that, like, let's be real, if you are being discriminated against for something so fundamental as finding love, finding another half, like, imagine if you're a young man and you're lonely, you want a girlfriend, and they make it illegal for young men to cold approach women to ask them out or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. Something that would make it, like, extremely taboo for you to have, like, any dating life as a straight guy specifically. I feel like you would have some pretty valid concerns. I feel like you would have some pretty, like, valid issues with that. You would maybe want to march in the streets and argue that you should have the right to be able to ask out someone of the opposite sex, right? And that the idea that the person is of the opposite sex should not matter. You would be saying the same shit if it was your sexuality that was being arbitrarily discriminated against. And so after if you really want to think about it, thousands of years of gay people being discriminated against and oppressed, now they have more platform, more rights, more cultural relevance than ever, but it's still not perfect, right? And perfect means nobody even thinks about it. No one even talks about it. It's not really relevant whether or not someone's gay or straight, right? Things aren't perfect yet. There is still progress to be made. But because there has been so much progress, it is basically impossible to ignore the movement that is now the larger LGBTQ community that is like grown into an umbrella of different like queer identities that have faced similar struggles to gay people, maybe not the exact same, but similar. And so coming together and elevating each other's voices and marching or simply being proud of who they are is a movement of empowerment to continue fighting for a more equal world. That is why there's no straight pride. And that is why gay pride isn't a celebration of sticking dicks in butts or eating pussy or whatever the fuck a conservative wants to call it, right? That's not what it's about. Now, to be fair, gay culture is very big on things like kink, BDSM, stuff like that. Like, oftentimes people that are into less conventional kinks will find a home associating with LGBT groups and communities because their interests are also considered kind of taboo, even if it's not necessarily their sexuality. And it's less of a movement of pride for them, and it's more of like that's just the crowds they hang out with. And so sometimes at more adult-oriented pride events, you might see some more overt sexual themes associated with like the gay stuff, but that is actually quite rare. And especially these days, most pride events are very, very meticulously designed to be family-friendly events, especially because, you want to be able to make a pride parade where like a teen who's gay can show up and there's not some stuff there that a teen shouldn't be seeing, right? So they've made it an appropriate environment for LGBT teens to like celebrate who they are.
Love is love. That's what they say. However, poop is poop, folks. Poop is poop.
This is a deep fake, but let people dream. They really, really, really are not trying to hide that it's about taking rights from gay people now, are they? Like, they're really not. They're really not. Here's Kangman Lee, one of the largest conservative shitposters on Twitter, who posted this: Happy Pride Month, and then they included this copyrighted song having anime dance thing that is gonna get into some LGBT facts. All right, so it's gonna truth nuke us with some facts that are gonna debunk gay rights. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Oh, it just brought the audio back. No thanks. Most LGBT people... Okay, it's just going to flash too quickly to read in real time. Most LGBT people were abused in childhood. That is not even slightly disputed. I wonder why they were abused. Or had absent parental figures. Okay. LGBT is linked with depression. Yeah. And lesbians have the most domestic abuse. That's true. LGBT is not okay. Heterosexuality is natural law. Just ignore all the gay animals, okay? Ignore all intelligent animals in the animal kingdom that engage in gay sex, from lions to orcas to zebras, everything. Just ignore all of that. And the rainbow belongs to God, because God is real. Not a bunch of sodomites. Anal sex causes incontinence, and LGBT has far more STDs. Many are gay because of... Hold on, I need to see more. Many are gay because of porn addiction. Quit porn and the feelings go away. Hilarious thing to say while you're, like, flashing your, like, lolly girls on the screen. Like, it's like... Dude is literally gonna jack off to some lolly after making this and is like, quit porn. The sex you were born as is okay. Marriage is one man and one woman. Let's live in a healthy society, and not one full of degeneracy. I like how this is their attempt at that one meme that I used to post where it's like the bait to get conservatives to be flashbanged with studies that debunk all of their opinions on trans and gay people. If you guys don't know, it's like this video clip that starts with like a stained glass window in a church of Jesus Christ. And it looks like it's going to be like a Jesus fan cam, but then it like flashes, just kidding, and starts flashing up a bunch of studies from like very accredited institutions with all the graphs and all of the sources below and the text of the conclusions of everything from being accepted as the gender they identify as reduces all depression and suicidality. All scientists and medical professionals agree transgenderism and gender dysphoria is real. They all like all of the facts just cycle through. This is their attempt at making that, but to be homophobic. And all they can do is just say a bunch of claims. The only things they said there that are actual true claims, they couldn't even back up with stats that do exist, because if they brought up the studies that they got those stats from, they would have to show them, presumably, and said studies also say, so to solve that, you should be nice and accepting of gay people. And in reference to that, it's the gay and trans depression rates and suicide rates. If you're going to cite that, you have to cite the same data that tells you that you need to be accepting of these groups and kind to them to reduce that fact. It's not forcing them not to be gay that solves that. Also, many of the same studies that back that up also say that conversion therapy doesn't work. So they can't make the same kind of video where they try to like flash debunk gayness, because there's no studies that they can pull from. At least no studies that don't debunk their entire point. God, I'm getting sick of the cutesification of fascism, from all the anime shit to the deluge of cookie-cutter pick-me girls and pick-me gays and the unholy combination of this through pick-me VTubers. I mean, that's really what it all comes down to, right? Like, the internet, the people who always lean the hardest into this, like, ooh-woo, cutesy kind of aesthetic are always the biggest, most awful, toxic monsters online. They always are. Like, it's always a front. Like, Keffels had, like, one of the most cutesy, soft uwu brands out there on the online left, used it to basically have an unassailable reputation. Like, you were a transphobic harasser monster if you ever criticized her or went against her, and then she ran away with 100K from her fans. You know, like bro, shit. Remember the Wiggler? I remember the Wiggler, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like, you just can't really, it's like cutesification is a very easy way to sort of subtly brand hate, or to subtly brand toxicity in a way that is at least aesthetically, acceptable, cozy, familiar. I don't know. That's my overall take. Anyway, back to the main point. Pride Month is not going anywhere. It is to be celebrated by gay people, like straight people certainly attend Pride and support Pride and whatnot. I'm a straight person who supports Pride, though I haven't attended anything Pride related. So I don't really see any case where straight people are successfully able to make Pride Month not happen. I think it's going to be fine. But it is pretty funny to watch Chuds cope over the fact that, once again, we've got a whole month of woke being back. It's the gay month, folks. We're going to enjoy every moment of it.